this is Miranda from My Scrappy Life, and welcome back to my channel. This is another process video for Confessions of the Paper Addict cut file shop, where I am going to use this cut file, and it is called Circles. So I already cut it out, done all of that stuff, and I kind of placed the inner circles of my cut file on the black mat already. And what I am going to do is that my shaker pockets are going to sit in the inside of the back part of the cut file. So what I mean by this is that I cut out the cut file out of this Paige Evans paper that had all these hearts in it. And I left the hearts on the circles on the Cricut mat. And then when I was able to go in, I'd done the acetate that I get. The window sheets are from Close to My, or not Close to My Heart, but Stampin' Up. And I placed all of the foam down, and now I'm coming in to glue or put down the circles because I want the black to be like to stick this cut file out. And at the end, when you see the end result, it is absolutely perfect, and I achieved what I wanted. But what I'm doing here is that I'm lining up the circles to the cut file so that it looks seamless. I've done this before, but not to this magnitude. And what I also did is that I cut the gut part of it out, and I made sure that when I did this cut file, I was able to leave about 3/4 of an inch left on the outside border, so that I was able to then cut down the black that you see here and put the rest of this layout or the rest of this paper on the back side as a border. So I did it like in 3 different spots. So I was able to utilize pretty much all of the paper that was cut. And I absolutely love how this part turned out. Now, what I decided to then come in is I want mixed media on this because I think the mixed media is just adds that little bit more dimension, that little bit more Miranda style, I guess, of my own layout. So here I am, I'm going, instead of using shimmers this time, I am coming in with my Nuvo mists because these I haven't used all that often. I mean, I have a stash of Nuvo products, but I don't use it all that often because I am a shimmers, I'm a shimmers person. You guys know this. But the 4 colors that I am using and they're all Nuvo micro mists. So the orange one is Peacan Peach. The pink is Oriental Fuschia. The green is Beryl Swirl. And then the blue is Midnight Horizon. And I'll put down the 4 ones that I'm using. And these actually match the paper from Paige Evans, the newest collection that she just came out with. This one actually matches all these colors. Now, the only color I wasn't able to get on here, or the only 2 colors, was the yellow and the purple. But I don't have those colors, and I don't mind that I don't have those colors. I just didn't want to mix and mingle 2 sets of products. But I will say this. I do like the micro mists from Nuvo, but I do like the fact that shimmers is a little bit better. And the reason why I say that is when you add the shimmers to their products, it doesn't glump and it doesn't leave like this stringy film. When I pulled out, and I shook these quite a while before I started filming, and then I shook them again before I even opened them up, and they still had it. So that, I will tell you, that drives me nuts, and that's why I don't use these all that often. But I wanted to get a few more in, see if they started to work on it, and it's gotten better, but just not what I feel, because I guess I've been a shimmer snob. So I will admit it, I'm a snob when it comes to my mixed media products. So then what I decided to do off camera was I placed down all of the sequence mixes that I wanted to put down, and I used it just like I did before. So instead of me having to actually use my technique that I normally do, my little trick. I use the circles. And I was able to find all these different colors from Spiegel Mom Scraps. Don't ask me which ones I used. I kind of had to pick and choose which colors I wanted to place in them. And I will tell you, this. Some of them were new, some of them were old, and I'm not even sure if they're in the shop. So the collection that I'm using, or the kit I should say, is from the Hip Kit, and it is the April, March, one of the two. I'm not sure. I think it's March or April, to be honest, but it's one of the two. And it's one of them that I've been trying to use up and try to get rid of, you know, because I've been using it forever and a day, and June is coming just right around the corner. So these photos are from one of the brewery companies that are in Charleston. It's in the low country or low tide part of Charleston, and it's called Low Tide Brewery. And they have a flight. I had to stop and ask Fran if it's a fleet or a flight because I could not find it on their website. Their website does not have their beers or their like menu so that I could figure it out. I knew that it was a fleet or a flight. I just couldn't remember what. And so I had to figure it out. And while I was figuring that part out, I had to stop the camera because otherwise you would have saw dead air because I had to figure out that word. So these are flights, and they're both of my husband's and mine, Josh and I. They were, what we decided to do was that part of the tour was not only to go to the winery, it was also to do the moonshine, and then we did the beer. And this was the last part of our tour. And I will tell you this, I will go back to this brewery anytime. It is fantastic. Their beers were amazing. I absolutely loved it. So the top one is Josh's, because Josh, when it comes to craft beers, he does the lighter beers and I do the heavier beers. And I absolutely love it. So the bottom one is mine. We did mix and mingle some of them. We actually got two of the same and then two different ones for us. So we had quite a bit of beer to drink and to, you know, just to mingle while we were there. And we happened to be sitting by another couple, and we started talking, and they were on their honeymoon and we were on our anniversary. So we were just talking, having fun, and I'm one of them that I'll strike up a conversation no matter what. And by then I was already toasted from the wine, toasted from the moonshine, and then we added this. So my little scare, like my little oh, I'm gonna be quiet, because I don't know you, and all of that goes out the window when I'm starting to get tipsy. So by now I was pretty tipsy. So we struck a conversation, and we sat there for a good hour to hour and a half, and it was absolutely perfect. We absolutely loved it. It was a lot of fun. And that was pretty much what this was about, and I really wanted to document this. I'm not going to write on it because I already know what it is. You can tell what it is, and ultimately, if somebody asks if they're actually going to go through, my scrapbook layouts, they can ask me and I can let them know what this was. But the flight of beers are like a sampler of what they actually have. Because we paid, I think, an extra like $7 to be able to get the flight. Because in the tour guide, the tour actually only allowed us technically to get 2 or 3. And she's like, just get the flight, get a couple extra, and then we'll just sit and hang out. I don't have to be anywhere. You guys can drink. I'll grab some water. I'll hang out. One of my other drivers is here, and go have some fun while this is your last part of your tour. I was like, okay, sweet. So we paid the extra couple of bucks, and she went and got him. We found a spot. She brought him to us, and it worked out perfect. And I'll tell you, our tour guide was amazing. I absolutely loved her. She was really good. She actually took us in a couple different spots. We were actually in a limo, so we could actually drink if we wanted to, but we stuck to water and whatnot. And then once we got to the places, we started getting tipsy anyway. So it worked out perfect. I am scrapbooking with a couple other ladies, so you can see me pulling them up all the time. But I added some butterflies. I added some bugs. The bugs have nothing to do with this other than the fact that they looked cute on there. I added some bread and wine, which kind of was, we used a lot of soaking up with the pretzels and all that stuff because, I mean, we had a lot of samplings that we did, Lord. But I love doing these types of things. When somebody else can drive and we have no daughter and we can just go sample it out, we'll go sample it out. We don't mind paying for that little extra to be able to do these things. So here I am. I'm now going back through these sequence mixes. As you can tell up in the right hand corner, you will see like which ones I am using. Some of these are still okay in the shop, and then some of them I know aren't, because some of them are as old as when I was on the design team. Now, I don't use that one that's sitting up there in the top right hand because the colors didn't quite match. And I'm trying to stick to where the colors are at for the sequence mixes. I'm trying to stick to that pinks on tops, yellows in the middle, teals, and then purples and blues, you know, throughout. And then that pretty much rounds this out. So you're going to finish this part out. I absolutely love how this looks. And I'll make sure that you go check out the Confessions of the Paper Addict cut file shop. Everything is linked down below. Now, I will state that for right now, in the group is the only place that you can get this cut file. This cut file is free until the end of June. Once July 1 comes around, it will be for purchase in her shop. So I can't link the actual cut file down, but it is in the group for right now. So make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. Go check out her Etsy shop because y'all know that I love her cut files. And I hope that y'all are staying safe. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!